I wanted today to be an extremely productive day, and I set up an alarm at 7 o'clock, and it's now 11 a.m. So I've been up to no good, and we are not off to a great start. I wasted 3 hours already on doing these 3 things. I created kind of a bullet list of today's tasks. I walked my dog, and I showered and washed my teeth. Let me tell you, those 3 things do not take up 3 hours at all. But anyways, let me just go over to my PC and tell you how I will structure today's day. So we have a 2-hour study session, then half an hour of a pause, and I'm not eating breakfast, but it is also because I'm fasting. To play some games or play on my guitar or piano. And since it is 2 minutes until 11 and the start of my first study session, I'll start right now and get back to you later. Alright, it's now 1 o'clock. I finished this first session. It wasn't too bad. I covered some algorithms and data structures and a little bit of object-oriented programming in C++. And now I'm taking a break. I will go get groceries, but before that I'm rushing to the bathroom because I've been holding it in for the last 20 minutes. Alright, I'm back from shopping, and the thing is, I completely forgot that my family is paying me a visit tomorrow, so there will be no training session today because I have to tidy the apartment a little bit. But that isn't too much of an inconvenience because I did a training session yesterday with my friends, so today will be a rest day. Here are some things I bought. I'm already a bit late, but I didn't even put the chicken to roast and I didn't even season it. So I'll do that right now and we'll start half an hour later than I predict the next study session. These 2 hours have been a lot more intense, probably because I was doing math more rigorously. But now it's finally time for a break and it's time to eat. First time today at 4, and I hope the chicken is ready. I'll check up on it, I'll eat, feed my dog, and then after half an hour pause we continue. And after that pause, instead of training, I will do some chores around the house. It's not much, but it's honest work. Survived to the end of the 3rd session, but half-assing almost all of the work. Now I'll clean up the apartment a bit and I'll return here to start the 4th one, even though I really don't feel like it, because it is already becoming too hard to concentrate. But I'll try to push through this one, and then maybe I'll make a little bit of a longer pause at the end of the 4th one before we start the 5th one, and that is the last session in a row. I was supposed to clean for half an hour to an hour maximum, but I was cleaning for 2 hours on purpose because I didn't want to study, and I cleaned absolutely everything. Now it's 9:30 p.m. and I'll walk my dog for another 20 minutes and buy some refreshments in the store, and I'll study for 4 hours straight till bedtime because I wasted all my free time. I also watched some YouTube videos in the last 10 minutes just to physically relax after cleaning. I said I was going to do 4 hours without breaks, but it's 2 hours and I have to take a break now. I also have to feed my dog. I'll probably eat some fruit because I feel like my blood sugar is completely tanking right now. I follow the plan I created on this paper right here, and I finish this one example in those last 2 hours. I'll finish it faster, but I don't think I will be able to start a completely new thing right after it. So I'll leave that for tomorrow, and all the remaining time I will just spend organizing my notes and stuff and preparing for tomorrow's study session. I won't record the last one, I will just do the exam and kind of go over of what I realized with this experiment. And I did it, I finished it. I also did my laundry, washed my teeth, did my basic skincare routine, showered, and I'm just now realizing it isn't much of a list, and that this is going to be one of the most boring vlogs I've recorded and created. But I don't really care, I'm going to put it out anyways. It is past 2 a.m. and I hope I can go to sleep at 3. My dog has already been sleeping for the last 2 hours. And I'm treating myself in the end with some YouTube videos, a protein shake I made with the last scoop I had, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, and this mango ice cream. That is, if you believe these macros on the back, not that unhealthy at all. It says here it is 50% fruit, and I'm having a hard time believing it. What are the conclusions of today's so-called challenge? It is not something that I think I could sustain for longer periods of time. It takes a toll on my mental health and also my physical being, even though I balanced everything quite right, I think. I think it would be more doable if I studied for 8 hours, so just your typical working 9 to 5 session. Because since this is very mentally challenging, even 8 hours of concentrated study time is a stretch. And I also, as a person, as you can tell, extremely creative and hyper, and I'm constantly being distracted by other things, and I like to have some diversity in my life. Some also might call it chaos. And I want to balance a lot of things, and this today just felt like one long study session with breaks in between to do some of the most basic human stuff that has to be done. I also like to have time to play my guitar and sing, to read about something else, but I have to be cautious to not take it to the other extreme, in which I have so many great ideas that I get paralyzed by them and then not do anything at all for the whole day, which I feel has been the most part of the previous few months. So I'll try to find a balance. I think, well, somewhere between 5 and 10 hours, I think. 5 hours, well, 8 hours. Just one working session when you subtract 8 hours for sleep and 4 hours for all the things that have to be done, like hygiene, eating, walking my dog. I'm left with 4 hours, I think, of free time. And if I stretch it to 10, then it's only 2 hours, and in those 2 hours I don't feel like doing anything at all because I'm so exhausted that I'll just watch other YouTube videos. So I'll leave you at that. Like, share, subscribe, watch the other videos. For some reason the algorithm is not pushing them at all. I have like 100 recommendations per video and my click-through rate is around 5 to 10%, so I get on average like 7 people watching these videos. But I don't care because I like doing this stuff, and that's why I'm pushing it and posting again and again. So that was everything I wanted to say. It was me. Zhiwy, stay safe, and as always,